first and foremost, bear with me because I just decided to come up here like 5 minutes ago. So alcohol makes us all do a little crazy things, but it's okay. I've only had 2 drinks, so it's okay. But my friends always tell me that I have like the craziest stories. One, I have really bad luck, so the craziest things always happen to me, but also they always turn in like inspiring things. So I figured why not step out of my comfort zone and tell one. So I don't know how this is going to go. Please bear with me. Even if it sucks, applaud. It'll make me feel better. But a few things about me. So my name is Awele. Some things you might applaud, other things you might not. 1, I'm a Penn Stater, so if there's any Penn Staters, yes. 2, which you probably won't applaud, I'm from Florida. Please don't applaud. People always say, oh, you're from Florida, you should love it, you have like a perfect life. No, living in Florida and visiting Florida are 2 totally different things. I don't recommend it, but it's made me who I am. So when I first moved up here, I grew up in Florida, and I chose to come to Penn State. When I first moved up here, I went to Penn State Abington. I don't know if anybody knows. Yes, yeah. So I joined student government, and I, first of all, was very reluctant, but the first friend that I made up here was the student government president at the time, so I was like, all right, fine, let me do it. Let me help out. At the end of her term, I was still a freshman, she was like, all right, you should run for student government president. And I'm the most stubborn person. Like, there's pushover, then there's average, and then there's stubborn, and then there's me. And I was like, hell no, you couldn't pay me to be student government president. Why would I do that? I don't like being in front of people, and I don't like using my voice for good things, at the time at least. So long story short, after her and so many other people were like, no, listen, we see something in you, you should do it. I lost the debate, and I chose to run for student government president, and I did it. And I regretted it when I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm still a freshman. I'm supposed to speak in front of 4,000 students all the time. I can't do that. I'm supposed to be an example. I can't do that. I don't know who I am yet. I really can't be an example for people. But it turned out to be one of the greatest years of my life, and it's been such a life lesson for me. I always preach that I hate politics. I probably still do, but it taught me so much about myself and about stepping out of your comfort zone, because if it wasn't for that one friend that I had to really push me and say, hey, listen, we see something in you no matter how much you preach that you hate politics and Florida has screwed you up when it comes to politics, there's something about you that can really make a difference. And I say that today solely because there's a lot of people in here, and I really think we have phenomenal people in here who are willing to step out of their comfort zone and go and be surrounded by people who want to make a difference. And if not at least one of us steps out of our comfort zone and goes a little bit further to make a difference, we're going to have a lot more Donald Trumps. Trust me, I grew up with a lot of them around. So I think I'm stepping out of my comfort zone right now, and I think it's just really important. There's one story within my presidency that really speaks volumes. We did an event called No Place for Hate, and that week is dedicated to really talking about oppression. It makes people feel really uncomfortable, but usually it's just like small events. People don't have to involve themselves in it. Me being ridiculously crazy, I chose to take that event to a whole nother volume. So Monday, first day of the week, what I chose to do, and I led the force, I separated the cafeteria, and on one side it said colored only, and the other side it said white only. Every single student who walked in there had to see that sign. They didn't have to obey it. That's not what the point was, but it was to kind of like step back and see what it really was not so long ago. I think people think that we dealt with so much racism so long ago and it's over there, but that's not the case. It's still a thing, very prevalent today. I mean, I dealt with a huge racist incident today, but I'll get to that. And that's kind of another reason that I'm up here. But when I was planning that event, I really tried to think like, oh, there's so many people that might come against me and be like, oh, no, that's such a terrible idea. We don't understand it. And that's fine. I was ready for the privileged people to say that to me. What I did not prepare for was for people who looked just like me to kind of test me. And that day, a staff who was African American, he cursed me out in front of so many people saying, why could you do this? This puts so many bad memories in my head, blah, blah, blah. And in that moment, I was not trained to deal with anything like that. Like, again, I'm from Florida. I'm not trained to deal with anything like that. But my first instinct was to listen. And I just listened. And I didn't know how many people were really watching me at that moment, because after listening, he wanted to walk away. And I said, wait, sir, I listened to you. Now just listen to me. And I explained it. And he wasn't immediately like, oh, okay, this is great. It took him a week to come back to me and say, I now understand what you were trying to do. And I looked back on that and I was like, I didn't plan for that reaction, but it only took me listening to somebody who objected what I was doing from the front to really understand the whole picture. And now if I were to ever do that again, I would remember that incident and say, first you have to listen and really look at all sides before you ever can make anything better. So that really spoke volumes to me. And if nobody believes me that this happens, I know people are gonna be like, no, that didn't happen. Come up, you can look at my phone, just don't steal it because I just got it like a few days ago. But my presidency, a lot of people really, I inspired people, which I never thought I could do, especially, I'm only 21, by the way, recently turned 21. So like a few months ago, I couldn't actually come here, but I'm enjoying it while I can. But I was the president of Penn State Abington 2 years ago. So my freshman year, I'm going to be a senior. Or no, my sophomore year, I'm going to be a senior, excuse me. And I thought once my term was done, I was done. Like, people remembered me for what they remembered. But today, while I was at work, crazy enough, I downloaded Facebook Messenger, and excuse the language in this, but there's a point to it. I saw a message, April 24th this year, from a person who I've never met before. I can't even pronounce their name. I might have met them during my presidency, but you meet so many different people, you never know. They messaged me, dirty African, are you a donkey from Africa? Penn State Abington sucks. Male genital, not penis. You know where I'm going with that. And I immediately was like, wow, I was a president so long ago. One, racism I really thought was like just Florida, like why would I have to deal with that in Philadelphia? But that's the world. I've had so many people tell me, oh, racism isn't a thing anymore. And that kind of got to me. So that's one of the reasons that I didn't want to be student government president. I was like, I don't want to be the face of a lot of things when I'm still dealing with a lot of insecurities. But I am so thankful to Stacy, who was the president before me, to just push me out there and force me to confront all the negative things in this world. And even though that I'm still dealing with it today, it's okay. I responded to that person saying, I'm ridiculous, but I said, hey, nice to meet you. I just want to let you know that I'm offended that you think I'm dirty because I totally showered this morning. And all my friends were like, you're ridiculous, but that's okay. This does not bother me, but probably 2 years ago before I was president, it would have bothered me. But I've learned from being president of student government that it's okay to step out of your comfort zone because you never know how many people you're going to inspire, and that speaks more volumes than just sitting back and knowing that so many things are wrong around you. So to everybody out here, speak up, step out of your comfort zone. You never know who you're going to inspire because we need people like you and like me to really lead this country to be even better than it is. And I know I didn't want to talk about today's politics, but I'm going to. Don't ever let anybody tell you that we need to make this country better because this is the greatest that it's ever been in history for me and a lot of other people who have ever been oppressed. So let's just keep making it better. Thank you.